All right. Well, we are joined here with some very special guests. These are actually the gentlemen who gave us the idea about Open Safe and Successfully. We had a meeting. I don't know, Peter, was it 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago? We had our meeting.
Yes.
And they started talking to me about Procell. And Procell is the new product by Duracell geared towards healthcare. And when I started thinking about points of care and physicians' offices opening back up for business, I didn't think about half the great insights that this team had. So Peter, why don't we start with you? First and foremost, we want to know about your family. We got about 10 minutes on this call. We want to know how healthy you are. Kevin, introduce yourself, and Aaron, you round out the introductions. And then I'd love to ask you a few questions if that's okay.
I think that'd be great.
Awesome.
Well, hello, and thank you, Ian, for having us. My name is Peter Huber, and I'm the marketing manager for Procell. And really what we're really focused on is really making sure that we have the right way to communicate with your distributors, your hospitals, your doctors, all the end users that you have. So we're developing sales flyers, we're developing sell sheets, videos, all these different types of contact. And we're very excited to be able to work with NDC on these types of things. And just from a personal note, I'm living here in Rhode Island. The weather's been hot all summer long. We've had more 90-degree days here than probably the last 10 years. I think we're at 19 right now, and where the max we've ever had was 30. But from COVID perspective, been very fortunate, been working from home. So I've been healthy. My whole family's been healthy. We've been very lucky and fortunate. But
that's awesome. Great stuff. Great stuff. We're going to get into that Procell battery and the resources that you're making available to NDC distributors in a second. But Kevin, give us a quick introduction and by all means, let us know how you and your family are doing.
Wonderful. Well, again, thank you, Ian. I'm the national account manager for Procell, handling the medical aftermarket. So I'm mainly focusing with distributors such as yourself to give them the support, educate, and then also help your members and the customers of just, learning about Procell and the benefits. And again, as Peter said, I'm very fortunate that, my family's been very healthy, staying at home, being safe, taking precautions. And again, luckily I don't know anyone close to me that has been affected by COVID, but again, I feel for a lot of people out there that are struggling. So
that's great.
Again, thank you.
Well, I'm pretty excited. In some of my other videos, I was in the garage. So my family allowed me to move into the house from the hot weather as well. But let's go down here. Aaron, you're right below me. Give me a quick introduction and let us know how you're doing.
All right, thanks, Ian. My name is Aaron Arbisman. I lead Procell's North America medical markets. That consists of aftermarket, selling through NDC to our hospitals, surgical centers, and other facilities. But I also lead our OEM business. That stands for original equipment manufacturers. That's selling to device manufacturers that include our batteries. For instance, an infusion pump takes 4 Procell batteries. Then your hospital will see that. It'll come with 4 Procell batteries, and they'll want to replace it with 4 Procell batteries. I lead all of that. Personally, I had to say I'm doing pretty good. There's a storm that came up the East Coast, took out power. I live in Connecticut, widespread damage. Finally got power after 6 days of going without it, and wife and family are happy, so I'm happy.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, my home office is here in Maryland, so I'm on the eastern shore of Maryland. I was in Nashville during the hurricane. It's actually the 3rd hurricane that I've left my family alone in Maryland while I was in Nashville. So I know when to get out. They just need to know when to follow.
Great.
So switching to the Procell battery, what blew my mind when we first started talking about this, whether it's the hospital, the physician's office, dental rehab, wherever it might be, there's a Procell battery that is designed specifically for different medical devices. Tell me a little bit about that.
I could jump on that one. So I work in the OEM business, as I mentioned. We did an analysis of this industry. It's something that's never been done before, we realized, to understand all the devices that are in the professional world, medical devices. And what we learned after testing hundreds of these devices, that there are 2 different types of devices out there when we look from a battery standpoint. There are low drain devices. Those are ones that are like pulse oximeters and wireless mice, draw power very slowly. And then there's high drain devices. Those are ones like your infusion pumps, paper towel dispensers. They draw a lot of power from the batteries. So what we had to bring to the market first ever was a dual portfolio. And a dual portfolio consists of two types of batteries. One's our general purpose Procell battery, focused on those low drain devices. Basically, we call it the battery. You put it in there, you can't remember the last time you replaced it. It lasts so long.
I
And
knew you guys had the ability to do that, the battery that lasts forever. I knew that.
It's the magic one that everybody wants. And then we have our Procell Intense battery. That's a new innovation that we put into the market. It's really focused on those high drain devices. I remember talking to a fellow at a hospital, and he said, you know, I have this infusion pump. It lasts for a day. I need it to last for like 2 days. I said, I have a battery for you. And that's what we did. We reinvented the battery, put it to market, and it's giving me that longer run time that everybody's looking for. And that's really the focus of that, is this dual portfolio.
So what the piece of equipment needs, you have the right battery for it.
Correct.
I love it. Kevin, quick question for you. Sorry, Aaron, finish, please. I'm sorry.
No, and we did that by pure engineering, really understanding the basis. We know it's a market we never touched before, and we said, we're going to make this successful, and this is how we're going to do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Kevin, what do distributors need to know when they're talking to NDC about ordering their batteries?
So it's really trying to understand the customer needs and specifics for what types of devices they're mainly running. You know, one of the things that we're willing to offer, you know, customers is doing audits to their facilities to help understand what types of devices they're using, and coming in there with making the correct decision on what batteries would go in for that device, and then basically come out with an equation to say, this is the amount of cost savings you're going to have by choosing the right battery for the right device. So again, with Peter's help, we have great marketing material that, you know, has market maps of different types of facilities, from acute care to senior living to EMS, and basically telling them what devices those types of facilities are using. And then we also have a sheet on that device that literally recommends what battery to use for that device. So again, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for your sales team, members, and customers to really make the right decision and help lower their overall operating costs for that entire facility.
Well, and there isn't a more important time than right now to be looking after the expenses of the, you know, the frontline caregivers. Great segue. It's almost like we planned this. Peter, talk to us about these resources that Kevin was referencing, and when will NDC see those that we can load them up on our computer or on our website?
Sure. Actually, there's 3 key things that we're doing right now. We've really put sales flyers together for the touchless restroom, because everything is getting converted to touchless right now in all, you know, businesses, doctors' offices, facilities, schools. Everything is converting, and there's more and more of these devices that are being brought into the market. So we've developed these flyers, identifying a problem and then creating the solution with Procell, getting that right battery into the right device, giving you the best longevity, ultimately saving you time and money, because we're able to reduce the number of times the device is being changed out, and that saves you battery costs, but more importantly, it saves you labor. We took it to the next step. Then we came out with a hand sanitizer sales flyer. And again, we can co-brand these. They'll be NDC co-branded, and then we can share them with your distributors and sellers and end users. But now the hand sanitizer one, again, as they are increasing the production and release of all these new restrooms, the touchless restrooms, hand sanitizers are being put everywhere. I think the last time we spoke, I gave you an example of like Disney World. They put 4,000 of these hand sanitizers throughout the parks because people are sanitizing in and out, and they're doing that everywhere. And then the last piece we worked on is a recovery piece, or reopening. So we're all at that stage now where things are starting to reopen and the businesses are recovering. So again, identify what the issue is, and then how does Procell meet those needs for all these new demands and all these new devices that are coming to the market.
That's awesome. You know, so NDC, we serve all points of care, whether it be a doctor, hospital, rehab, dental, veterinarian. And a lot of these caregivers now have new rules of engagement, whether it be around hand sanitizer or PPE and all of that. So, you know, when we get these online, we'll make them available to everybody. And it really sparks a thought. You know, circling back, Aaron, you spoke about Duracell recognizing a situation that need to be improved, creating the Procell battery, you know, the right battery for the right time. Kevin talking about expenses and how do we make sure that the caregivers are looked after financially, utilizing the right products for the right equipment. And then Peter, you're talking about the resources, keeping it simple, right? We all
Yep.
know that rule. And I can't commend you all enough. So first of all, thank you foremost for spending a little bit of time with us. We appreciate it. ndc-inc.com. Get to that member site. You'll find all the information that Peter was talking about loaded. Guys, stay healthy and stay safe. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
Wonderful.
you, Ian.
Thank you very much.